Hi, boys and girls. Thank you for joining me for another Bible lesson this week. Let's start by reviewing the last couple of memory verses that we've had. A couple of weeks ago, we introduced, "Surely the Lord is in this place," Genesis 28:16. And last week, we worked on, "Salvation comes from the Lord," Jonah 2:9. Let's say that again together. Salvation comes from the Lord, Jonah 2:9. And our memory work for today comes from Joshua. And it says, "As for me and my household, we will serve the Lord," Joshua 24:15. Let's say that again together. "As for me and my household, we will serve the Lord," Joshua 24:15. We've been also working on our books of the Bible. Remember, we first learned the first 5 books of law, and they were Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And then we began working on our history lessons with Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles. We're going to continue and sing a little bit more of our song this time. Let's start from the beginning. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentation. And let's see if we can get to that far in our song. So we included our books of poetry and then started working on our major prophets. But that's a good place to stop in the song. So keep working on it so that you can learn all of the books of the Bible. Today's lesson is going to be over Joseph's coat. Join me now as we talk about our story today. Joseph was Jacob's son. Out of all the boys in his family, Joseph was his father's favorite. When Joseph was 17 years old, his father made him a beautiful and very colorful coat. In the time of the Old Testament, people had to make their own fabric, and they had to start with wool from their own sheep. First, they would shear the sheep's curly hair off very close to the skin. This did not hurt the sheep. It was just like a haircut. Next, they combed the wool to clean out all the grass and seeds and tangles. They cleaned the wool, was twisted and twisted into smooth yarn. It was a lot of work. Now the wool yarn was ready to dye. Plants, nuts, and fruits were boiled in water to make the colored dyes. At last, the colored yarn would be woven into fabric. It took a lot of time and hard work to make fabric, didn't it? Jacob made his son a very beautiful and colorful coat. Let's think about some of the colors that might have been in Joseph's coat. Purple. Grapes would have made a beautiful color of wool. Blue. The blue of the sparkling sea might have been in Joseph's coat. Green. The cool green color of the leaves could have been woven into the fabric. Yellow. A bright yellow of the sun could have been a cheerful color to put in Joseph's coat. Orange, the color of apricots, warmed by the sun. What a lovely color. Red, the color of these bright desert flowers might have been part of Joseph's beautiful coat. Jacob must have loved Joseph very much. What a colorful coat. Joseph's colorful coat. Joseph was one of Jacob's 12 sons. Jacob loved him more than all of his other sons. Jacob made Joseph a colorful robe. His brothers were jealous. They wanted nice robes too. and they wanted to be loved as much as Joseph is loved. Joseph had a dream. He told his family, We were bundling grain from the field. Your bundles of grain bow down to mine. Then Joseph had another dream, he said. This time the sun and moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me. His father asked, does this mean our family will bow down to you someday? The brothers were even more angry, and they threw Joseph into a dry well. Along came some traders. The brothers sold Joseph to them as a slave. They lied to their father and said Joseph had been killed by a wild animal, but God was with Joseph. I hope you enjoyed our lesson today over Joseph's coat. Remember that Jacob, his father, gave Joseph this beautiful coat that was richly decorated with all these beautiful colors. He gave him that coat to show that he loved Joseph very much. Joseph proudly wore this beautiful coat. And later, when he was older, Joseph became a very strong leader for God. I want you to think about what special gift did Jacob give Joseph? Do you remember? That's right, a beautiful coat with many, many colors. Do you remember why Jacob gave Joseph such a special gift? That's right, to show how much he loved him. How do your parents show you that they love you? And how can you show your parents that you love them? A lot of times, our parents show us that they love you by providing things for us. They provide us a home to live in. They provide us clothes to wear and food to eat. And they do special things for us, just like God does special things for us. And how can we show our love to our parents? We can obey our parents like God asks us to. We can take good care of the things that our parents and that God provides for us. And we can also show that we love people with our words and our actions. So as you go forward this week, I want you to think about different ways that you can show your family that you love them and that you care for them too. Bye-bye.